Well, hi everybody, I'm Bob Trezise, President and CEO of LEAP, Lansing Economic Area Partnership. I kind of have maybe somewhat of an urgent or important message for our friends and family and neighbors today. You might find it helpful. So the way I see things right now with the economy is taking layered, localized mitigation policies, putting those policies in place is really important. I call it the great disruption, and the more us as organizations and employers as a community, I think the next 3 or 4 weeks we just need to accept the great disruption, and we need to do a lot of things to lock down, and this is the best thing we can do to assure safety and health of all of us, and also to assure that the wreckage of the economy is short-term rather than long-term. So there's only two sort of lesser evils choices to make. One is lesser than the other. Let's try to have short-term damage to our health and to the economy instead of long-term damage. And I'm suggesting that taking severe mitigation actions in your organization and in our society over the next 30 days, despite the great inconvenience and all the rest of it, the disruption of it, that this should be our guiding principle. It's different for every organization, of course, because everyone has different customers and different responsibilities. For us, we've put in place a policy that we are not going to travel out of Ingham, Eaton, and Clinton County for the next 30 days unless it's absolutely necessary. That we are going to not participate in any internal or external meetings of more than 3 people in person, and that we are not going to participate in any public meetings for the next 30 days. Now, we will participate in all meetings, Skype or phone or any techniques or technologies that we can in that respect. We also, for the next 3 weeks until April 6th, are going to go remote and work remotely. And actually, this is a better technique to increase the likelihood of our staff remaining entirely intact so that we can be fully and normally working both now and into the future. But the best way to assure that for us is to work remotely. We can do it completely, effectively, and fully without having to be here in our office. And so that's what we've decided to do today as well. So there's the health aspect, which is, of course, number one, and worrying about everything. But let's just talk about the economy. We're an economic development agency. I suspect that we're going to be here to help. We're already thinking about adjustments, even new programs, initiatives for the whole rest of the year that will be far more focused on addressing what probably is a difficult economic situation rather than maybe some of our more normal programming. We'll see what happens over the next few weeks, but we're going to be ready to go to be as responsive as possible to the immediate needs of the economy, and that's what we're going to be working on. But from a personal perspective, maybe there's some things that you and I can do. It's this, well, all business I'm worried about, but small business in particular. I mean, maybe every one of us could commit to online or even popping in, if you're healthy, to one of our favorite local businesses once a week, every few days, and purchasing a gift card, for instance. And maybe that keeps a cash flow going for them now, and it gets you your services at a later date when it's a little bit safer to really go in and have a dinner or a lunch. I mean, maybe that's the kind of good idea. Maybe you have other ideas like that. Maybe if you're totally healthy, sitting down for a coffee or a quick meal is an okay thing. But I think we really have to think about how do we continue to support our friends and neighbors, especially in small businesses. How can we keep them going as long as we can do it in a very safe and healthy way? Our biggest event that LEAP was putting on March 24th was our 7th annual Youth Entrepreneurial Expo at the Lansing Center. We had 250 middle and high school students signed up, along with 50 plus judges, and a lot of money raised for sponsorships. And it was going to be an amazing day, as it always is. Well, we've transformed that from a physical location at Lansing Center and event to a virtual event. And of course, this is another technique that many people should or can use with regard to events. We can think about them. You don't necessarily have to cancel, maybe shift them, transform them to virtual from physical. That's what we're doing with the Youth Expo. It's going to be a great experiment. We'll be handling all that in more of an April, May time frame, but the Youth Expo continues. We continue. The kids are fired up, and we're not going to let them down despite what's going on right now. It's just that we're going to think of a different way to do it in an exciting yet safe way. So as I conclude, here we are. We are in the great disruption. This is a historic moment. We haven't had anything like this ever before. So there's no template, there's no work plan what to do, but we are especially resilient here. We're going to get through this if we work with an overabundance of local mitigation, knock it off, shut it down, space ourselves out, care for one another. I think that we can greatly minimize both the health and economic damage. I do think it's very, very important that we accept that's what needs to be done right now. If we do that, I think we can be happy and healthy and look forward to a very robust, prosperous future. We're going to pull together. We're going to get through this together. And LEAP is ready to go. I assure you that we will be on top of this from an economic development perspective. So there you go. We'll talk to you real soon.